Now, talking of grown up, we're in a very fast-moving situation this evening, but there are very credible reports that Boris Johnson is throwing his hat back in the ring and would like to return. What would be your message to Boris Johnson if he is planning a return to the top?
Well, I remember it was 3 months ago that he resigned, just about, and he resigned because his own front bench, his own party, had declared that he was unfit for office. There were dozens of resignations coming in over a period of days, and they all said the same thing.
But they found someone unfitter.
But it wasn't a policy issue. That they didn't say to Boris Johnson. And Theresa May, for example, who I've got a lot of regard for, respect for. I knew her when she was Home Secretary and I was Director of Public Prosecutions. That was a policy issue that she couldn't resolve. With him, it was character. They decided that he was unfit for office. So, Andrew, the idea of an experiment over the last few weeks with Liz Truss, which has cost people additional mortgage payments in hundreds of pounds every month, cost our economy, cost our reputation. The idea that you go from that economic chaos back to a man who I always said he was unfit for office, but his own party said he's unfit for office. So now the idea that you go from this carnage, this chaos, back to a man who's unfit for office. I mean, if ever there was an argument for a general election, that has to be it.
So Boris Johnson, I think he's still on holiday, thinking, what am I going to do next? What is your direct message to him? Stay out of this.
I would invite him to dust off and reread all the resignation letters that he received in July, because all of his colleagues wrote saying how unfit he was for office and they couldn't serve him any longer. And I think they should all dust them off and reread them as well.
Now, whoever they choose, there's a huge range of public spending cuts and tax increases being looked at by Jeremy Hunt. Those have to get through the House of Commons. You call for an election. Of course, if you're a Tory MP, that looks like political suicide, and they're unlikely to vote for that. So are you expecting some kind of breakdown in the House of Commons leading to an election over the course of this winter or early next year? Is that what you think is going to happen?
Andrew, you'll have been talking to Tory MPs. I think many of them are despairing. Many of them feel that it's time their party went into opposition and healed its wounds. And so the choice for them is simple. Are you going to put your party first, or are you going to put the country first? And if they put the country first, we'd have a general election. But we're in unprecedented times. We've burnt through, 4 chancellors, 2 or 3 home secretaries, 3 or 4 prime ministers. This is unprecedented. And so there is this just clear choice: carry on with this utter chaos, or have the stability of an incoming Labour government. And the public come up to me as I go around. I was in Brighton this morning, and I got the very, very strong sense that they feel this is embarrassing, it's a mess, it's chaos, it's costing them, and they're saying, why shouldn't I have a say in what happens next?
Finally, 44 days as Prime Minister, the Winter Queen, as it were. Liz Truss has had, by any standards, a pretty miserable time. At a human level, how would you write her political obituary? It's
a failure. It was an experiment that should never have been carried out on the British public and has cost us dearly. On a human level, I've got no ill will towards her. She's obviously
you feel sorry for her?
She's under huge strain, and I'm on a human level. I wouldn't want to see that in anyone. But I would gently point out that for millions of people who can't pay their bills this winter, for millions of people who can't actually afford £200 or £300, £400, £500 more on their mortgage payments, they're under huge strain as well. And forgive me if I speak for them.
Sir Keir Starmer, it's been a busy and extraordinary day. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.